Can I say fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, say whatever you want to say.
What's up, everybody? My name's Josh.
And my name's Nick.
And we're here to give you
a reality check. You know you need one. All right, everybody, here to give you your weekly reality check. Joining us this week is the one and only SUEnami, Miss Smey,
Yes.
from season 47 of Survivor. She's 59 and she beat all their asses, and she's here to talk about season 48 with us. Welcome to Reality Check, Sue.
Hey, Nick.
Welcome, Sue.
Thank you, Nick and Josh. I'm thrilled to be here. This is really exciting for me, and you're my very first podcast group that I've come on. I'm so
excited. My God, that is so exciting. Oh my goodness. So just overarching, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about season 48?
I'm loving season 48. I'm really excited. I think there's some really good players out there. There are some shocking things that have happened, which we'll discuss. I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh my God.
I know, that's right.
And I think that we really, are going to probably dig deep into a few questions we were talking about of what's going on with some of the cast members and who's being left out a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely some interesting tribe dynamics happening this season. It's not as kumbaya as season 47 started off, for sure.
No.
Yeah. So I want to get right into the drama. We kind of kick off like we do every episode after Tribal Council and kind of the ramifications of seeing one Kevin be eliminated.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about Kevin? Did you like Kevin?
For me, I really liked Kevin. I thought he was a sweetheart. This was not what I was ever expecting. I really thought he was going to go a long way. What about you guys?
Yeah. He was my winner pick. He was literally my winner pick. I am so sad to see Kevin go.
Josh
was getting great energy.
Josh notoriously, his winner picks go out pre-merge every season. Every season.
Well, I'm glad you didn't pick me then.
You were like we were like your number one supporters, but like it just happens. Last season I thought Rachel was going to be the first boot, and look, she won.
Yeah, Josh is notorious for poor winner picks for sure.
And it's not even just Survivor. This is across every reality TV show that we are watching.
Yeah.
So basically, whatever.
I picked 3 out of the top 4 last season for my pick.
So basically, whatever Josh picks, we let him pick first, and then we go the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, literally.
So I think it's interesting. So, I mean, you obviously have the insider experience watching Survivor, and you know what it's like to smell that fire when you get back from Tribal, but do you think that there is kind of power in Mary's position? Because she knows, everybody's made it very obvious that she's playing from the bottom. So
yes, I've always felt the underdogs, and I always root for the underdogs, no matter what. Someone could be a jerk, I don't like them. Next thing you know, they're the underdog, and I have a bleeding heart for the underdogs. But Mary, I think, is a very smart player. I think she is stronger than what we perceive of her, and I think that she's going to go a long way. I feel like she's going to climb out. She's holding on, and she's going to climb out, and she's playing a good game.
Yeah, I think we got a little taste of the kind of puppet mastery mindset that Mary is wanting to play with.
Yeah,
that she hasn't really gotten the opportunity to kind of like stretch her arms out a little bit. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, at the end when they came back from Tribal Council, Cedric and Mary have a little talk. They're chatting. She's kind of like rekindling something with him, building that kind of relationship. And then in the same clip, we see that Say is kind of not really confident in her alliance anymore.
Yeah.
She's like, where are the boys voting? Where do I stand? What's going on? Like, am I the next target? I didn't know Kevin was going to be really going like that. And bam, he's gone.
And that's and that's what I have to say too, is like coming back from Tribal, especially when things don't go as planned, your brain, you're exhausted. First of all, you're physically exhausted. You're exhausted from losing the challenge. You're exhausted coming back and fighting your case and seeing who's walking off, see who's doing this. And then at Tribal, everything starts flipping and turning, and you don't know what you thought was going to happen doesn't happen, and it blows. It's mind blowing. And so to see Mary, I feel like Mary's smart enough to know not to trust anybody, and she lets Cedric think. Yes, I'm good. We're good. But honestly, nobody's ever. Can I say fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, say whatever you want to say.
Nobody's ever good. I don't care what anybody says. You don't put that behind you. I held the Kyle grudge. You don't put it behind you. Hold that grudge, girl. Hold that grudge.
Yes.
Hold that grudge.
Hold that grudge.
People want to, fight you on, make fun of you or bash you for holding a grudge. Hold the fucking grudge. Don't ever forget it.
Because it happened. There's too much niceness and too much kind of like kumbaya in the new era of Survivor for me. I love a villain. I love a just petty vendetta.
Yeah.
You wrote my name down. I do not like you anymore.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you tried to ruin my chances for $1 million. Why am I ever going? No.
Not okay.
Yeah. So, it's a new day. The sun rises on all of our tribes. And now you have mentioned to us before that the sunrises and the sunsets were one of your favorite things about being out on the island.
Yeah.
Are those morning chats important, do you think, when those early risers are getting up and they're, having their coffee, if you will?
Those morning chats, so when you're sleeping on this island, you hear everything. No one freaking sleeps. I don't care what anybody says. You're fake sleeping, but you could probably hear like a tiger won't hear a tiger walk by, but you'll hear the whispers. And also you hear this. It's like your ears are so sensitive to hearing voices. And those morning talks are saying a lot all around. Right? You have the morning talks of the two or three people that are in their little clique building an alliance without you. And then you have the people that are listening, and you're like, what are they up to? What are they talking about? Are they talking about me? Why am I not included? And your mind goes crazy. So that morning is full tilt. Everyone's like on like this high alert. You don't know what's going on, and you're getting more and more paranoid. It's tough. It's really tough. All around, it's very tough.
Them diving into David's life, but that's not important, really.
I like David.
Let me tell you. No.
That's
important. That's important. And I have to tell you something. There's something about that it's hard. And it's hard image wise. And it's hard, others knowing that that's where you're at in your life. I felt him. And I get it. Everything he said hit me so hard. And I know it's drama, but these are real lives we're talking about. We're talking about people who every single one of us in this world have hardships, have had bad experiences. We all know we've been through stuff that, is troubling. And it shows that inner strength to get through. And the fact that he admitted that it's hard for him and it's embarrassing for him or whatever it is, that was a beautiful thing for them to show. And it was a beautiful thing for them to share. So, I mean, as much as it's not like a huge storyline.
Yeah.
Especially when we first met David, he was presented as this big macho
performer.
Performer, kind of douchebaggy kind of guy. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think getting to kind of peel back these layers of the onion, Shrek, if you will, it was really nice to see, because I loved him, physically, and I liked him, but so it was nice to see that, it's not always as glamorous as you think going on Survivor. These people are real struggles, So
and the outside image he portrayed, he's badass. He's a badass motherfucker, right? Like what he does for a living is
he's gonna fly for Sue Air pretty soon.
We already talked about him taking flight lessons. Like but he's human, and that's what's like. This is what's so important. Like, it shows this human side of us, and it's not a weak side, it's a vulnerable side.
Yeah.
And to me, that's very touching. I like these touching things. I like badass, and I like people that are like just going crazy too. But this is like what makes Survivor so good, right? Because you have all of these different elements, and it's affecting me and Nick, but not you, Josh. And then something else affects Josh and Nick and not me. And it's bringing us all in, right?
I mean, it's true. It's
Jeff.
true.
You sound like Jeff when you do that, you know.
I'm screaming. I'm screaming.
Now,
No,
talking
you're
about
right.
a less touching story. We talked about this a little. This moment of this loggy bonfire that they set up.
Mm.
This family moment.
Yeah.
But not
And the
all
family's
members of the
missing
family
somebody.
were present.
Yes.
How much of a family are we if not everybody got called for dinner?
I want to know. I want to know. Don't you guys? Like, this was where was Star?
Where was Star? Was
This
she
is
invited
why-
to the bonfire?
This is why I can't stand the 3-tribe format, because you get this kind of like dogpiling on one tribe oftentimes, and we only get to see the dynamics play out at tribal council for 1 or 2 tribes. And if this tribe was to go to tribal, we would really get to dive into the dynamics with them a little bit more. But because they keep winning, we don't really get the full story
But something's
of like
going on.
what's going on.
But as much as we're focusing on them not really including Star, there are still some plotting on the side to get other people out. Thomas is trying to get out Eva. Shaheen obviously is team Stars on the bottom, and he's focused on his California girls. But Thomas is plotting other way, you know?
Can I tell you, in my notes, I have it. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but in my notes, I have that Say is the top player as well as Thomas. And for me, I'm predicting Thomas to be the winner, because I think
my winner pick too.
You too?
Him and Kyle are my top 2.
I think Thomas is brilliant. I love, even like when Bianca told him, you know, like he's just like analyzing everybody. He's keeping his secrets, right? What does he have? What advantage does he have?
He has a
extra bow, a block of bow, a steal a bow.
Let me see. I have it written down. Yeah,
steal a vote.
Yeah.
I mean, and he didn't tell anybody. That's the player that you need to be. I don't care how close you are with anybody. It shocked me that, I don't know, like, I always knew I would never tell anybody anything. And I think the only time I would is if we lost and we were going to tribal council and I didn't have a vote, I would have told Caroline and Gabe. And I think they would have kept it. You know, I would have told them. But Thomas is brilliant. He's like ready to get
Thomas is what I like to think of as like, he's the post office. Everybody comes, drops off his mail, and he dishes out where it goes to. You know, like everybody's coming to him.
That is so good.
You know, they drop their little nuggets, and then he's like, okay, you know, going through them, I'll use this here, I'll put this here, you know.
I love it.
Like, he's the through point, and it's so good for him. I just really hope that he doesn't kind of like sass his way out and like out sass himself, because he is very forwardly okay with being a villain. You know, we saw it with the advantage piece. He was like, what if we burned it? You know, so I'm just hoping that he's not too outward with his willingness to play the game, because he really could like maneuver his way right to the end as like a dark horse.
Yeah.
And I love him.
For sure.
And the fact that he can pick up, like, even with Bianca, when she told him, and he's just like, well, I believed your story. You know, when she said that she had, and like, you could see his brain going like, okay, she might be a little threat too down the road. She lied so good. Like, he's picking up every little detail about everybody. I mean, he's really, really, really playing he's one of the top. I think him and Say are the top players.
Yeah. We saw it from the second that they hit the beach, when people were talking about their professions, and we got that confessional of him being like, I'm listening to what jobs they have and seeing if they mix with what I do and if I need to change it. Like, he is so good at the quickness of Survivor. I think the 26-day pace really suits Thomas.
It does.
Yes.
It's going to be exciting to see him down the road. I'm really excited to watch what he does. I don't think he's going to hold back. If he's got to get someone out, he's
playing. He's going to play. And talking about playing, we pan over to the Vula tribe, where Mary and Say are having an idol hunt, and we have another situation like last year where Rome and Saul, Rome and Saul, where like Rome was like being babysat, vice versa, and now we have Mary and Say trying to babysat Mary while she's just trying to go out. How do you feel about that, Sue? Do you
That
think
drove me
babysitting
crazy.
should be allowed?
I'm not a fan. Look, they could do whatever they want. I'm not a fan of that. I think that's BS. Like Kyle went hunting. I hid in the bushes and followed him. He never knew I was there. Like that's, I think, a better gameplay because then you know what's going on. She was blatantly in her face, blatantly just blocking her like Rome did with Saul. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I don't even think it's funny. Like I didn't think it was entertaining. I didn't think it was funny. I just wanted to shut it off. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I laughed.
feel
I
similarly.
thought it was funny. I was giggling at the moment just because it's so ridiculous, and it's just like, period. Play the game, and if you want to play so forward, That's power to you.
But go
It's
look for
something
one
that I
yourself.
do.
But go look for one yourself.
I'm with Sue on this one. Like, don't chase me. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
What are you benefiting from being up my butt? To be
Yeah,
honest.
you're not
Tell
looking
me.
for your own idol.
Yeah,
You're not
you watching me. You're gonna watch me pick it up when you could have been ahead of me.
Exactly. And guess
pick it up
what?
yourself.
I got you for at least one tribal if I get something. So
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. That part.
That to me is such a turn. I don't like that.
We do see that Mitch is like all about this tribe unity, and like
he's
very
the kumbaya king. He's the kumbaya king.
Yes.
He is very kumbaya, sticking together, and I don't know because it's an individual game at the end of the day. There's one winner, and I think we see these kumbaya moments so early because they haven't been tested by tribal yet.
Yes.
Because little does Mitch know that him and Charity are kind of on the outs.
Right.
So it was interesting to see that Kyle is kind of weighing his options to go with David, Mitch, and Charity, or Camilla, Chrissy, and David, and see like which kind of shakes out better for him. Who are you guys more leaning to if you were Kyle and David?
I'm going to Charity.
I think I'd go with
Charity
Camilla and
Mitch.
Chrissy.
No, I don't know. Camilla and Chrissy don't feel like, to me, they're in it for the long run. She's got too much like analytical mindset for me. Like I feel like I'm not going to do well. I like Chrissy, but right now as a viewer, we haven't been shown anything that's drawing. Like I'm not like it's not like I'm like, oh, I want Chrissy on my screen. Like I want Kyle. I want Mitch.
Yes.
Yeah, where is she? Where is the Chrissy edit? Where is she?
I think it'll show.
I'm looking for it.
Not bad. No, not here either.
It's not in a SUEnami shirt.
Yeah, wait. I don't know, and I wait. Nope, she's not down there. No. I think that I think there's still when it's still so early and there's not, like you're saying, there's no drama going on. There's really nothing to show. So until they're going to tribal, they're going to show little bits and drabs of everybody's still, like you're saying, kumbaya. When you're on a tribe and you're not threatened for tribal, you are kumbaya. You're not even thinking about it. You're maybe building stronger bonds. You're maybe trying to feel people out a little bit, but it doesn't get down and dirty until you're realizing that somebody's going home tonight. All of a sudden your true colors come out, guns are blazing and you go crazy. I think we'll see. I want to see more of Chrissy just because she's, the older person on the tribe. I'm rooting for her. She's badass.
Look, we love the older ladies on Survivor. We're rooting for Chrissy.
Here for them.
But you know who had a very similar edit and was a very strong force in season 47?
Mama Julie.
Genevieve.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
We
Yeah.
didn't get a single Genevieve confessional for the first
4. I think episode 4. We literally said, "Oh, thanks for making your 15 minutes of fame. We haven't seen you in a while."
So.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens with Miss Chrissy,
Yeah, stay tuned. I think we're now that, next week we'll have to see. We'll see more. I think we're going to see more of all, of her, and that there's going to be drama. There's just no drama.
I mean, there's definitely a shakeup because we get a tribe swap. We all know that. It's not a secret,
I can't wait. That's going to change everything. It's changing everything. So we don't really know what the swap is yet, right? Does anybody? You guys don't know, do you?
I saw leaks.
It's out there, yeah.
Okay.
The new tribes. I try to avoid it, and then Josh texted me the list, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna know.
Josh, you could text me the list too. I'd love to know.
I got you. I
hate not knowing. I'd rather know.
Yeah. So there's only really one more thing before we get to my favorite part of the episodes, which is the challenges that I want to touch on. And it's this moment we get with Star and Eva, which is like pulling teeth, trying to get these two women to like have a normal conversation.
Yeah.
And it was so awkward for me because you could see that like Star saw right through her BS, that she was just trying to do damage control and make her think that she was safe. And Star was like, we don't like each other. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that Eva, when they had that conversation where Eva basically said, the next challenge, Star, you sit out. How does Star let that go? I mean,
we're done. Yeah, like it's done right there.
So you could, the fact that she went up to her and actually tried to have a conversation is more than what Eva did for her. Because Eva's got a whole family there, right? She's making
bracelets and she's, sending gifts home for Joe's daughter.
Yeah. So she's sitting pretty, and you can't,
But is she? Because Thomas, Bianca, and Star, this little throuple that I'm sad that we're not going to get to continue to see it grow.
They're cooking something up right now.
They're throwing the dough up,
And I really like Eva, but I don't think when people aren't aware, you're not like I feel like she was so confident in her clique that she's okay to just throw Star out there.
Yeah.
And nobody knows. I mean, maybe Eva does know. I don't know if she knows what that feels like as a person to be singled out of a whole entire tribe when you're strong. She's strong and big. And and she was just pointing the finger at her. You're sitting out. Like I don't think she was
Who made you the queen? That's what I was saying. Who made you the queen?
Yeah.
This is a democracy, sweetheart,
So I give Star credit for going and making conversation, but was it like a ploy to be able to have people see that they were having conversations so she could then go to Bianca and say, hey, Bianca, guess what Eva just said?
Yeah.
I don't know, right? I don't know.
If it was, that's great gameplay by Star.
I'm writing this one down in my notebook for when I'm looking at it.
Star knows that she needs to find a crack. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
Even if it's not visually obvious, it in her soul, I feel like she's got to know her that she's got to know. So she's got to wiggle her way in somehow. And the best way to do that is to talk shit and tell people about what you're talking about.
That's all you got to do is just put that out and put those words out there into the universe. That puts a doubt in someone's mind, and then they're like, okay, right?
That
one little white lie.
That person doesn't know the context, but all you have to tell them is these words were said by that person.
And
even if I dated them, they still said it.
Exactly. And when someone goes off for a walk, which everybody does, everybody says, who just left? Everyone's always like, wait, who's over there? Everyone's like, oh, who's at the water well? Everyone announces it. Everyone's aware of it. So it's not so Star. I don't know if, I don't know if her mindset was maybe to do this to then go to Bianca, or if it just fell into place that way. But it was a perfect thing. And everybody, and I'm sure Bianca and everybody knew that Star and Eva were having a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's all she needed was to open that crack.
Yeah, it's like when you keep saying, after the merge, oh, Steve, you're so strong. Steve, you're so strong. You're so good at the challenges.
Oh, yes.
You got to plant those seeds.
You do. You do. Every word that comes out of your mouth has to be some sort of strategic type.
Intentional.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And talking about strategic words that need to come out of your mouth, that's a perfect way to roll into this challenge.
Yes.
The blind call-out puzzle. Oh my God.
I love this challenge.
I hate this challenge. I
can't stand it. When they showed that, I'm like, thank God that wasn't my group, because I hate that. I hate it.
I think it
so much.
I think it has good elements. I mean, it's a Survivor classic at this point. It's been in Survivor so many times. I really love the end of this challenge, the blindfolded slide puzzle.
I know.
I think
Slide
that is
puzzle.
absolutely insane. I could barely do one with my eyes open. You know, it's insane.
So
This would be the perfect challenge for us, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to pick someone that has a loud voice, that knows how to direct people, and then at the very end, understand that puzzle to be able to explain, not to explain it, but to even know in your brain what steps need to be made and then tell them to do it. So
Right.
you have to have so much to be
Yeah,
able to
it's like,
do that.
do you pick the person who is most likely going to get you through the puzzle, or do you pick the loudest person with the most unique voice to get you through the obstacle course and hope that you have more time on the puzzle? You know, so there's so many variables. I know I would not want to be the caller. I would not want to be calling out to anybody. No.
You are delusional. You are 100% going to volunteer as the caller. You already know the slide puzzle. You got a loud mouth and you got a distinct voice. You are the caller. You are the caller. You're not going to want to pick up the puzzle piece and you're not going to want to bang your hips on something. You're the caller. And you're not sitting out because then you're up on the block for elimination. You're calling. I know you're calling.
Wow.
If I'm not sitting out,
You're
maybe I'd
calling.
be like, maybe I'd be calling.
You gotta do it. You gotta
Yeah.
be the king that won that immunity challenge.
Dude,
You
would be a good caller. You're loud and have a really distinct voice too.
Here's the thing. I think I would love it, and I'm very good at directions. My issue would be, and I've worked on those type of puzzles, but what's so hard to understand as a viewer is there's so much chaos going on.
Yeah.
It's more than like, if you're like you guys, I've seen you guys do the puzzle. Josh, you like nailed it in like 5 seconds, right? I
told him the directions.
Okay. But when you've got Jeff saying stuff, you've got the other tribe saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. You got your own tribe, you know, like cheering you on and everything else. There's so much chaos. You have to have that strong brain to be able to like block everything out and focus on that puzzle, because that's the losing thing. If you don't get the puzzle, you can get to there way late and the other people are struggling. The puzzles are the key to all of this.
The equalizer. The puzzles are always the equalizer.
If you got a loud voice, but they don't know how to do that puzzle like by themselves, they're losing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, you know?
Exactly.
So basically the challenge wraps up with Loggy winning immunity. You know, we don't need to, you all watched the episode. You all know how it played out. Loggy wins immunity. Siva comes in second. And unfortunately, for the third week in a row, we have Bula going to tribal council. So as a castaway, how does it feel to see that the same tribe is now going for the third week in a row?
It's so sad. And it's almost like you have to just pray for the right person to go home, to try to give them one more break, to just, they can't catch a break. And it's almost just like there's a black cloud over their heads. And even, I think they were even doing pretty well. And then they
were in it. They were
in it. And, you know, it's so hard. And, you know, like even when we did, you know, when we didn't come in first or second, it just sucks the wind out of you, and it just it turns you from being excited and you're doing the challenge and you're all pumped and the adrenaline's going, to being like this is going to be another death tonight, and all of a sudden you're not thinking about anything other than how am I going to survive tonight. And it's just so devastating and deflating, and it's really one of the hardest things to do is to go to tribal that night, hoping that you're going to come back tomorrow. It's really tough. So I can't.
Now, as one of the winning tribes, is there a small part of you that's like, you know, like another one down? You know, like, do you guys speculate who you think?
Yes.
Just based off
always. We spend the whole night. Sorry, am I talking over you?
No, you're good. You're good.
No, we spend the whole
I imagine
time.
there's nothing else to do. You know?
Yeah. We spend the whole time analyzing, thinking who do we think's going home. Half the time we're wrong, you know, and because you don't know, you get bits and pieces, you know, like they went on the journey, right? So sometimes you can get we got a lot of information when our people went on the journeys. I don't feel like they had time to really talk. And but you always are trying to get information and see, like for us, it was just like, was it, were Sam and Sierra running, their tribe was, what was Rome doing? And, so we always had information, but these guys don't seem to like know anything about what's going on in each other's tribes.
And they don't seem interested,
No.
either. Like
That
they get
part.
to the journey and they're just like, cool,
Like last year when people weren't on the journey, we saw them like, well, we don't have to start this until we flip it. So can we talk for a little bit?
Yes.
We're not even seeing that kind of stuff. There's not even no one's even bringing it to attention.
No.
I wonder if that's partially production, because after season 47 did that a lot. Maybe they didn't like that as much. I don't know why they wouldn't, but
no, I think they would like it. I think, because I feel like production lets you they really let you do whatever you want to do. Like if the ball's in your court, and if you're going to break a rule, they'll tell you, but like you can do whatever you want. And we had a lot, even during one of the challenges, I sat out with Asia, and we were talking about TK, and we were, so like we were having conversations, and even when I don't know if they're playing the game that way. It doesn't seem, or they're.
I don't think they see it yet. I don't think they see the opportunity of these journeys, other than I could get an advantage or lose my vote. I think they're so focused on kind of like what's ahead of them that they're not realizing like what's in front of them.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see, because it was really prioritized in your season, and this season it hasn't even been like thought of at all.
We were the second someone came back from a journey, that's all we asked them. Tell us about the tribes. Tell us what's going on, and we always got scoop. We knew everything that was going on, even with I forgot which vote it was. Is the one that I know Teeny had gone on the journey with Caroline and somebody, and she had lost. She gave up her vote, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she was
yes.
She's like, nope, I'm good. We know what's going on. And she ended up getting blindsided. So we were blown away.
Was that when Keyshawn went home?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's what I want to talk about. Secret keeping and advantage, telling with these new era players of Survivor 48.
Well,
we see them come back, and who came back for Siva? Was it?
It was Mitch. Mitch goes, we have this advantage.
No, Camilla. Camilla came back this episode. But all of the members of Siva, they're all like, I got an extra vote.
I got to steal a vote.
Like, this is so great for right now when we're all besties and we're not going to tribal council. What happens at a split? What happens at a merge? Now, 5 people. Yeah, 5 individual people know about your advantage, and they're all going to split off. So it's no longer advantageous for you to have it.
Yeah,
it becomes a target.
That's the fun of it too, is being able to come back and be able to come up with that perfect lie.
Mm-hmm.
And that perfect emotion that comes with that lie, to either be so devastated and sad, or be so whatever, or be like, who said it? Was it Bianca? Bianca said that she just didn't play. Was that her?
Yeah.
So she said she didn't even try it. At least that's more, we're impressed by that, right? That you lied, and you this is what this game is about keeping your secrets.
And Justin goes, yeah, we're gonna know what we get tomorrow, because it's either green or it's either red or white, and I chose white, so whatever's on the white platform is ours. What?
It just was too convoluted. It was too much.
Way too much. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about him.
Yeah. Now, Sue, you never went on a journey on your season, did you?
No.
Was that intentional to kind of like?
No. So in the beginning, I like, after we saw when TK went on the first journey, and all of us were like, we don't trust him. We don't what is he going to lie? And every time people came back, like I knew when Caroline came back, she was telling me the truth. Kyle came back, he lost his vote. He was just being honest and told everybody the truth. In the beginning, I really, really wanted to, but then I was so worried about what was happening. I wasn't secure with the tribe yet. Like I knew I always had, Gabe and Caroline. I didn't know about Tiana, and I just
Yeah.
I felt like it was too much of a risk to be away and not sort of be in control of the conversations, not being there. So as much as I wish I had done some and tried it, I'm happy I didn't. I felt like it could have changed my game. It could have changed how they felt about me. And I don't know, like
the perception, I think the perception of a journey sometimes is more dangerous than the actual journey.
Yeah.
You know, so I agree with you. I think if you can avoid them, if you're in a spot where you feel not safe but more comfortable,
right.
then I've always felt like it's safer to avoid them. You know?
And you have to hope that the person, like when we weren't really loving Kyle, and when Kyle went on his journey, I was really happy he lost his vote. So you have to like sort of see what kind of, like what happens when they come back from these journeys too. And he was he didn't have his vote for such a long time because we hadn't gone back to tribal, but it was always like a standing joke. Look, Kyle still doesn't have a vote. And like, it felt good that Kyle didn't have a vote because I know he's coming for me.
You had something over him. Yeah.
Yeah. So it gives you a little bit more power in the game, knowing that they went on the journey and he lost.
Yeah.
Sue, how do you feel about the journeys that are the tribe chooses who goes versus when you win a challenge and the winning tribe chooses who goes on the journey?
Oh, it sucks because it's out of your hands. It's totally out of your hands. And you have to wonder why they're targeting you too. Is it for, for a good thing, for a bad thing? Like, I think, who did Bianca picked the people to go, right? Or she was the one. Like, she knew she was going, so she wanted the other two to go. So you have to wonder, was she trying to strategize with them, seeing what they have and seeing if she can manipulate them or get information? So you're always thinking, what's the thought process behind all of this? You'd rather have the control in your own hands.
Yeah.
True.
That's what would worry me too. Like, if they picked me, I'm like, I would feel like I would be thinking, like, okay, either they think I'm a threat or they think I really need help. Which also is not a great perception.
No.
So I hadn't really thought about that. That's an interesting.
Because what would your strategy be? Like, why would you pick someone, right? Because you want to burn them? Like,
are you trying to put more of a target on their back? Or are you trying
because they didn't pick the strong guys. Right. They didn't pick any of the beasts, right? They picked like this smaller, weaker people.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is an interesting thought.
We're basically at Vula for the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
We're what?
I don't have anything.
Vula.
It was so boring. Mary just went and swam, but this was actually kind of the mind fuckery of it all.
Well, because this is where Mary's mind games, literally MMG is what I'm calling
Mastermind Mary.
Mastermind Mary. Mastermind Mashalik has been transitioned to Mastermind Mary this season because she is playing the unbothered. I'm gonna go for a dip and a swim and let them think that I have something because I'm no longer searching. Perfect. The gameplay and the mind games was amazing. But what they didn't show us was that Mary had found like a leaf or something that was perfectly rolled up to look like a scroll. And Say was the reason why she was on Mary so much, if she had something or not, is because she saw her with that scroll thing in her pocket. But then Say went up and pulled it out of Mary's pocket and saw it was a leaf and threw it down.
She went and pulled it out of her pocket?
Yeah, this was like one of the deleted, like Mary was talking about it on social media that like Say went and pulled it out of her pocket.
Goodness.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
See, that's the thing here. Like, I have to talk about Say too. Like, Mary obviously is she's brilliant, but Say analyzing everything, okay, well, she's swimming now. She's got this, Mary's making her question everything. It's taking away her confidence in everything. And she, like, you have to want, like, Say's brain doesn't stop.
No.
It's almost to a fault, I think. We saw in this episode that we really saw, like you just said, this was the first time, I think, since episode 1 where we saw Say kind of the wind out of her sails a little bit. And she wasn't as sure, leading as she normally has been, which is fully credited to Mary because she's playing these mind games with her. But it was interesting to see that kind of like that deflation from Sai and that like internalization of all the options.
This is all such a mind fuck, like it literally, and that this is what happens. So now you know what, you're hungry, you're tired, your brain doesn't shut, nobody's brain shuts off. Maybe Justin, but like but like no, your brain when you're in fight or flight mode, for this tribe, the other tribes are all kumbaya. They haven't had to do any of this.
It's like Lord of the Flies on Vula right now. They're eating each other like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Mary played it great. I think say I'm very impressed by her mindset and her thoughts. Sometimes I feel like she's too aggressive though, in the way that would turn me off. Like I like someone that's very smart, but she could sort of like it's sometimes it's for me as a tribe member, I wouldn't want her on my tribe because she'd be
it would be a little aggressive for sure. Like I wouldn't really know, like, are we like tiptoeing on eggshells or are we walking together? Like what's the energy right now? But listen, the one thing that I have written down right before like the start of tribal is day 7 is Say is starting to crack.
Yes, you're right.
Mary was getting to her, and it makes me nervous for her in the future for gameplay. Like, is she going to crack under pressure, or is she going to use this as a learning lesson and really just trust her gut? Like, I'm excited to see where this brings her in her character development, because I don't know. It's early, she's starting to crack a little early, and I don't want to see her, be the own sabotage of her own story, because she is a contender for that million right now. So.
Oh yeah.
One thing I want to say too about Mary is that I think one thing that I really am enjoying about her, and I've talked about this before with Castaways, is Mary is so hyper self-aware to the point where she has such an understanding of like how people will perceive things. Not everybody has that kind of like foresight to be like, well, if I do this, then I know they're all going to think this. So she has such a high sense of self-awareness that I think it's kind of developed into this like almost like third eye of like people's perception of her, So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how she's kind of weaponizing her self-awareness.
But I want to ask you guys something. What do you think she was thinking to allow Say to stay in the game? To agree to she should have just could have told Cedric, just get her out.
I think at that moment,
get her the fuck out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in that moment, Mary was just riding high on her shot in the dark, and she was kind of like, this doesn't involve me. I'm safe, back to the house.
It was her chance to get her out, though. It was her chance.
Yes, but I feel like it's one of those, like, and I don't want to call it an ego problem because it's not a problem, but I feel like in older Survivor, a lot of people would go head to head because they respected their going
gameplay,
against a strong competitor, a game, their gameplay. So I think, and they kind of had that was a big theme between their beef the whole episode was, I respect you so much as a player that like I'm allowing this to happen kind of thing, I agree with you that if I was Mary, I'd be like, get her out. I'd rather have Justin here.
I'd respect $1 million check more.
It would have been a danger if she said, get her the fuck out. Let's bring in Justin. Justin's not a threat. Look at him. He didn't even fight for his life.
He was just like,
moving into tribal council, it was a historic one for the books, to say the least. My whole problem with this, kind of to summarize my feelings and thoughts about the whole thing, was why are you going to tie tribal council twice, make a big stink, stomp around, and, cause all of this drama just to back out, because somebody makes a promise to you? That is as good as a fart in the wind. Like, like, if I'm saying that moment, I would have gotten to, I'll do whatever you want, Cedric. I'll do it.
Right. She got emotional. She worked on his emotions. She became emotional.
She pulled on his heartstrings.
She showed what she will be like if she makes the final tribal.
A threat.
Yes. Look at how much she fought for her life. She showed a little bit of what she will do at tribal council. Why would you bring her forward? Get her the frig out.
If I was Cedric in that moment, I genuinely think that this was $1 million mistake for Cedric. In this
I
moment.
agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yep. Listen, the only thing that I'm confused about is like in the old days, if there was this kind of like tie splitting kind of thing, didn't we pull rocks? What happened to pulling rocks?
I know.
Yeah, the tribal was very confusing to me too, with the power shifting and the loss of votes and how it all shook out, because it was the first time in the new era that something like this happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they kind of just freestyled a little bit and figured it out. But I was thinking the same thing, that if it tied a second time, it shouldn't have gone to Cedric. I think that they all should have pulled rocks.
I felt like Jeff made he said why. I felt like he said that they have to have
Because if the case was a tie, then he said that the two people who were voted on would lose their vote, and then it would be the remaining players would either vote or that they would be put up on for eliminate, to get their torch snubbed. But since Mary had the shot in the dark, that overrided everything, which meant that if Cedric didn't pick one of the two, then he was forfeiting his vote and he was going to be the one voted out.
right, because that would be basically him playing rocks for himself, and he can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
I'd be
confusing.
like, I'm picking a number 1 to 10.
What's that?
Saying Justin, I'm picking a number 1 through 10.
Somebody,
Yeah. I would have picked. Let me tell you, I feel like he made a big mistake. I feel like Justin would have been so devastated that he lied to him and want to make it up and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I'll be loyal forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Terry, right? Like,
Yes,
why do you bring the stronger player? Bring the guy that you'll have wrapped around your finger. To me, it didn't make sense.
Yeah, why
bring the person who's an extra vote?
Yeah. Why bring the girl who has already shown that she will burn her own tribe and alliance?
Yeah. I still blame Mary though too. Mary should not have agreed to that. She should have. It would have been a game changer if she said, "You know what? Get her out of here."
Yeah, because it takes two to
I won't
tango.
up with her.
Yeah, it takes two to tango in that deal. If she had been like, "Ew, no," then Cedric would have been like, "All right, it's not going to work. So you gotta go." You know. So, but I think because we saw in episode 1 or 2 that Cedric was reminded of Say with his own daughters. So I think that this was just completely emotional, and he wanted to kind of give Say a second chance to like prove herself in the game. So
$1 million. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let me tell you, when you've got the opportunity to get a strong player out, you get them to frig out. You get them out.
Yes.
You get them out. And she's a thinker. She's good. She's really good. She's on the top. Her and Thomas, I think, are on the top when it comes to strategy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them meet. I'm hoping that we get a moment of the two of them meeting, maybe even working together. But unfortunately, episode 3 snuffed the torch of Justin, aka Pizza. That's what my family calls him, Pizza. And
Luigi's Pizza.
Any final thoughts on Justin? How did we feel?
I didn't feel much because we didn't get that much from him.
I didn't feel much either. I didn't feel, it's sad. He seems like a really nice guy, and maybe he'll give us all free pizza. Maybe he'll send us some pizza next week.
Oh, yeah. Maybe his pizza shop will sponsor a challenge next season,
Yeah. Maybe we need Justin's Pizza to send the 3 of us pizza for our next podcast.
Yes, next
I know that's
Justin.
right.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah. Luigi's. I think it's called
Listen,
Luigi's, right?
Luigi's Pizza. Yeah, at the end of the day, Justin, we're happy to see you on the screen. You were a good addition to Vula Tribe. If you ever want a spot on our couch, we're more than happy to have you on the podcast. But until then, good luck at Luigi's Pizza and keep delivering them hot and ready, mama.
Yes, pizza, honey.
Yes.
No, he seems like a nice guy. He didn't fight. He didn't have the fight in him.
He was kind of like doofy. He was kind of like, like
he gave up.
He was sweet.
No, he gave up.
Kid.
Yep, he gave up before he even he didn't even put a fight up. He just, instead of saying, no, keep me, I'm your buddy, I'm this, I'm gonna be better, he just said, you'll always
do what's best for you.
Yeah, you know what? There's a point where like people always say like, well, my pride won't let me beg. Baby, I'm begging. It was a great episode. I'm excited to see what happens in episode 4. I want to give a super special thank you, obviously, to our queen, Smey, our SUEnami mommy. Tell the people where they can find you and what you're working on next.
Really?
Yeah, plug yourself.
Well, I'm working on a new website as a life coach. I've always been a life coach, but I've really revamped my website, www.suesmey.com. You can find me on Instagram, which is what am I?
At SUEsmey47.
SUEsmey S47 because it's Survivor 47. SUEsmey S47. That's about it. I don't know the other stuff.
And if you ever want to learn to be a pilot, you go down to Sue's
Whiskey
pilot
Fox,
school.
yeah, Whiskey
Foxtrot Aviation School.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on and learn how to fly with me.
Yes.
Yes.
Come fly with me. Come fly. Let's fly.
I'm thinking fly me to the moon.
Yeah. Fly me to the moon, baby.
We will see you next week back on this virtual screen. I think, Sue, are you coming back next week too?
I would love to come back next week.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. We will see you back in our little 3-triangle format here for your weekly reality check. Be sure to check out. We are also covering RuPaul's Drag Race season 17 at the moment. So we are posting Survivor on Mondays and Drag Race on Wednesdays. So be sure to check that out. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hit the bell so you know when we are talking about your favorite show. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.